everybody, welcome to BrickVault. My name is Mike and today is our another weekly mock update. Jack is still not here, so I am hosting this week's episode and I'm gonna change the format slightly so that I don't show the mocks in the beginning. I'm just gonna go through them from my least favorite to my most favorite one. We have 10 mocks for you and let's just start off with this one. And remember, the links to all the picture galleries for those all custom builds can be found in the video description below. This first one is called Chibi Prime from Chibi Formers line, designed by Sam C from S2 Toy Studios. As you can see, that is a cute build for Optimus Prime Transformer. I think the designer went with kind of a oriental design to that one, so everything is showcased in kind of a chubby miniature way. And of course, as a legit Transformer, this one morphs into his iconic truck. You can see that this is not a big build as compared to the minifig size, but the color design and the actual transform function work really cool. This is not the first and probably not the last design of a Chibi Former from this designer. If you check his Flickr account, you can see he has a number of those already designed. So basically we have a whole line of Chibi Formers. And in my opinion, that is a great start for a franchise in LEGO, don't you think? So if you like this approach, be sure to check out his Flickr page. And this next one up is called a Kooky Marble Run that is part of a bigger series or technique called Great Ball Contraption. The idea behind the system is to shoot, push, or in any other way move small balls in a mesmerizing way in a big machine on a very complicated track. This one was designed by the master of the system named Akiyuki and is presented by Bertil van Beek. As you can see on the video, there is a very cleverly designed track that moves balls around, and it is just great to watch. The designers of Great Ball Contraption modules try to come up with the most crazy ideas for moving the balls, and the main premise is to be able to connect the tracks in a modular way from different builders to create a greatly complicated thing. I think people always had a thing for such creations, and it kind of resembles this crazy engineering from, for instance, Tom and Jerry cartoons. Remember those? And if you really like it, one thing is that you can get the instructions and the designs online for different modules of Great Ball Contraption. That would be a serious investment in parts, but hey, those just are great to look at. And now we are switching the pace a bit and let's move on to a small town of St. Arensberg in the North Kevroa Islands. The builder brother Steven designed this small set with a very great touch for detail, and I just like the atmosphere of a snowy small town. It seems to be a part of a fantasy lore, and this scene here I think shows a town market on a kind of busy merchant day. I just love the use of colors here, as we have the classic snow white. The buildings are kind of a red and brown, so they may depict maybe some kind of a German architecture. But we have also nice violet colors for those flowers or plants that break up the snow, and there is even a violet tree. All the characters look like they have been taken from a fantasy novel, even close to J.R.R. Tolkien. And if you look closely, there is even a small red dragon on one of the rooftops, as well as quite a tall tree towering the entire village. All in all, this scene feels very warm, very populated, however there is nothing that seems to be out of place. I am definitely looking forward to more scenes like that from this builder. And to keep us in this cozy atmosphere, we are switching back to the 60s living room by Heike Mochila. Now, this great designer was spoiling us with great interiors, and this one is no different. You can see a very classic touch of the 60s with this red chair, a classic table, and even a black and white TV. The overall colors of the scene really touch base with one of those small apartments from the 60s. There is even a plant on the table and a bigger one next to the TV stand. Heike is great about catching those shapes, and his builds are completely studless. But this is not the only one he presented this week. There is also a build called White Kitchen. And this one is even better. Again, a studless build. There are, however, some single studs that represent the power outlets on the walls. I think that is a great touch. We also have a hairpiece used for a plant. Those dark tan countertops and gray brick pieces beautifully break the colors of the scene. The cereal box is really also a nice touch. I wonder if all of the designer's builds can be connected somehow together to create maybe an old school home. That would be really awesome. And moving up the list, we have another awesome build from a builder that we enjoyably follow, that is Jonas Cram. This time we end up in Middle Earth in the hands of Thranduil. This beautiful scene represents a location from the second Hobbit movie from J.R.R. Tolkien, directed by Peter Jackson. As you can see, we have our party of dwarves approaching the Thranduil halls. There is a great elven throne, and the entire set is amazingly divided into two by this great wall of rocks. So basically you can see the approach as the forest grows thin. There is the bridge, beautiful entrance to the elven halls, and the actual throne room. This is probably as cool as you can get with a Lord of the Rings build. And from this point on, it's really hard to tell which build is my favorite, because this one is just amazing. But let us bid farewell to the brave dwarves on their journey and move to the amazing city of New York to see the awesome build for a firefighter truck from Fire Engine Company 10. This is a build completed by Spunky25, and this is the massive, beautiful fire engine from the company that was first to rescue the victims of the 9/11 attacks. An amazing tribute to those brave firefighters, and these builds, because there is more than one fire truck, just catch the awesomeness of those massive vehicles beautifully. Be sure to check the builder's Flickr page, because he takes really good pictures and you can see all the details in close-up, even the amazing stickers that the builder went extra mile to get onto the vehicles. I just wish all the fire trucks from the LEGO City line looked like that. A beautiful tribute to the brave men, and let us stay in this massive truck vibe, because the next build is called Kenworth K100 Wrecker by Dennis Bosman. This is a massive scale tow truck, or even a crane truck. I think that would be some kind of a massive utility vehicle. As you can see on the pictures, it is designed to tow other semis. And boy, the amount of details and the overall look, you just cannot tell that it is actually LEGO. You can tell that the builder is really into the trucks. The thing is just massive. You can lift the cabin to see the engine, and I do believe that everything probably works as in the real thing. There are even pictures showcasing this thing in the actual terrain, so it kind of looks like it is working in a quarry. That is one of those models that I would really like to have in our studio. And this next build doesn't certainly have wheels, it is a building, and it is one that is really close to me. This is Rathaus in Osterode by Przemyslaw Czarnik. And yes, you guessed, that is a building in Poland, and that is a Polish designer. In Polish you would say Ratusz w Ostrodzie, and basically this is a town hall in a very historic Polish city. You can see the beautiful front facade, a massive build for the pave walk with some trees, and it certainly looks as it is a part of a town square. Because if you travel to Poland, you would be able to see that many historical cities have massive squares in front of their townhouses. And who knows, I like it so much that I would love to see this one in our LEGO city. Maybe I can even get in touch with you. But let us depart this historical building and move into the galaxy far, far away. Because what we have here is Rogue One, pulling away. That's right, if you recognize this phrase, and I'm sure you did, we have this beautiful four-winged transporter from Rogue One movie. I won't spoil it for you guys, but you can see this vehicle a lot in the actual film. And I think this is our first really good attempt of designing this one in LEGO. And when I first saw the film, I was immediately baffled by the beauty of this thing. I really wanted LEGO to pick up the design and release it in maybe UCS form. But the builder Martin Harris 1 was first to come up with this one, and it looks really good. Catches the shape of the vehicle nicely. You can see this cargo section in the belly, 4 dark gray and light bluish gray wings that actually fold and make the shape for landing or flying position, and there's also this very recognizable cockpit section. The vehicle is almost studless, so that is really good, and the surface of the hull has some texture to it, which just adds a lot to the overall look. If I can get my hands on an LDD file or any form of instructions, I would build this thing in an instant. And also be sure to check out this builder's Flickr page, because he also has the awesome Jabba Hot Police that we showcased in an episode from the last week. And with this next build we are closing the list, and this is by far the most favorite diorama or build that I have seen for a long time. And this epic creation is a diorama from the amazing game for PlayStation 4, The Last of Us, by Tim Schwalfenberg. And boy, let me tell you, this thing is epic. And this is an entire street section, looks almost like a level from the game. In its whole it measures over 3.5 by 2 feet. And not only we have the amazing exteriors for this scene, we also have fully flushed out interiors. And those are not just simple interiors, cause if you played the game you know that it is about a post-apocalyptic world. We have all kinds of rubble and damaged things inside, as well as the outside. Everything just looks so realistic. The game itself won numerous awards for the creative approach, the graphics and the design of the levels, and this diorama just goes along amazingly. We also have the characters of Ellie and Joel from the game just wandering the streets. I was always recommending everyone to check out the game, and right now if I do that again I will just show this build to them and just say, hey, that looks like that, go play the game. One extra factor in this build is that Tim, the designer, used some 3D printed pieces to get the desired texture on some of the buildings and some parts, but I'm pretty sure that the epicness of the build makes him get away with it. So I am not really complaining about this not being entirely Lego. The amount of work put in this, the level of detail just cover any quirks you may have about this build. If you want to know more about the builder and the actual process of designing this magnificent piece, make sure to check out his Flickr page as well as his blog page when he describes in detail the process he went through to get this thing done. And for me, I believe it's gonna be hard to top off a diorama like that. And that is it, those are the top best MOCs of the week in my opinion. And now it is time to show off some of what you did, guys. I got a lot of submissions this week, and for all you that want to submit your MOCs for the upcoming episodes, the email for that is in the video description below. And of course remember to include as highest quality pictures as possible. So without further ado, let's just show the pictures up, cue the music, and I'll see you next week.